Welcome to the channel. There is new information on the upcoming updates on the Chinese website. It is worth remembering that the Chinese client is not a global version. Theoretically, it is a completely different game. So it's still more of a curiosity than confirmed information.
Dynasty book. Dark Destruction God, the new version of the Immortal, the war reignited on September 21st. The anniversary celebration in June opened, revealing a new chapter of immortality. The Dark Universe in July ushered in the first new professional Mad Night in nearly a decade. Today's Dark Destruction God, Immortal, will rekindle the war, and a new version of Dynasty will be launched on September 21st. The autumn winds swept through the refuge, and the flames were about to be ignited. The adventurers quickly followed the guidelines, climbed to the peak of glory, and opened a new adventure.
So we know that, at least for the Chinese client, September 21st will be the date of a major update, and honestly, I can't imagine it being any different for the global one. It is worth mentioning here that there has been a lot going on lately, which I think is a good move by the developers.
New mechanism. Superb battle cooled to its peak. The sheltered land is full of fog and challenges, and it is possible to move forward with the attention of demons and enemies side by side. Adventure is never a battle for one person. The new version of Dynasty is about to go online, and the Union PvP play method is fully reformed. The new mechanism brings more strategic and tactical choices, more flexible strategic confrontations, and more pleasant battles, and the war is on the verge. Whether it is a think tank that makes suggestions, or a real warrior who wins a team with microscopy, it can be full of fun in the new Union war. The new version is about to start. Hurry and work side by side with your comrades to write the legend that belongs to you, glory. Together,
there is a high probability that more of the overall game content will be focused on PvP. Perhaps it will be something like Team PvP, where you will be able to group with pre-selected people. The only question is how the resonance differences will be resolved.
Glory upgrade. Whoever is in the Immortal Dynasty. The Dynasty rotates, who is in a state of ups and downs. Glory in the past will not overwhelm the long history, and the medal of the Immortal still tells the adventurer about the glory journey. The old and the new alternate, the gear of fate turns again. The new version of Dynasty's grand ceremony recreates new heights of glory and greatly enhances the rights and interests of the Immortal camp. There is also an exclusive cloak to remember the glory of the past in order to give back the grace of asylum for the Immortal.
In this case, developers definitely notice the problem that people are unwilling to become immortals, so we will probably get additional bonuses. I'm curious what the new cloak will look like and how it will work. Nevertheless, I think that, although shadows are more convenient to play, their activities also require a remastering.
A new copy uncovering the secret of the old year. The story of the Leoric dynasty is considered to be the biggest tragedy in the universe of the Dark Destruction God. So do you really understand the entire history of this family? By chance, adventurers will set foot in a familiar and strange place. However, things are human beings, and monsters are now everywhere. The terrifying breath overflows from the entrance, and the eyes are all broken. Is this a place of treasures circulating or purgatory? Push away the door with historical dust, and go deep into the foggy underground corridor. You can find the secret hidden in the history of the dynasty.
And this is where it gets interesting. Most likely it could be a new dungeon, or something like a dungeon. However, referring to the described tragedy and the picture under the description, personally, it reminds me of the entrance to the monastery from B2. It could also be something related to Tristram I don't know about you, but for me such additions would evoke incredible nostalgia. And I think it would be a great move. Some sources of information also say that we will have to face Diablo himself. So maybe it's Tristram along with Diablo. And if we're talking about Tristram, maybe also Count Level. Who knows? I only know that developers have a lot of room for maneuver here. I hope they don't waste it.
Weakened again, farewell level war power pain. Let immortality return to darkness. Break the unreasonable liver krypton. The new version of Dynasty will continue the core concept of dark destruction. Immortal decay. Continue to deepen the reform of the Immortal version to 0.0 and hit the third shot of the National. Reduction. Let adventurers have a better play experience. Starting with the play mechanism makes the team more flexible. Starting with daily activities greatly improves efficiency. And adding from experience to growth no longer be bound. In the upcoming new version of Dynasty Shang Ceremony. Dark Destruction God. Immortal will reform targeted from multiple angles, promote the rapid rise of the unknown. Help the veterans to brush and easily embark on new adventure journey. The flames are here, how can we not fight? The new version of Dynasty is about to kick off. Let us meet on September 21st, through the fire. Create a path that belongs to us, and cast a new dynasty with our friends.
I have a slight problem with interpretation here, but I really hope it has something to do with shadows, perhaps with all shadow activity, which is something I personally complained about a lot. So if the developers listened to this, I'm very grateful. But we'll ultimately find out in our official patch note.
About Dark Destruction God, Immortal. The top of glory in the decisive battle. Dark Destruction God, Immortal 2023 Jinkyu's new version Dynasty. The war reignited on September 21st. The trade union regrouped 8v8 high-flammation and chaotic battle. The first cross-catchment co-creation invitation Dynasty peak passion war. The gains of the coronation rule of the Immortal have increased. And the exclusive cloak bears in mind the glory in the third season of the national downturn. The unknown rise and grow. Detective new copy of Tristram Cathedral, recalling the death of the young king, the Wang dynasty. The new suit with the same name exploded. And a new chapter in the place of refuge was written.
So here we again mention Team PvP, Dynasty, Monastery, and Tristram, so my associations were most likely accurate.
As a newbie in the Dark series, Dark Destruction God, Immortal extremely restore the essence of IP. Inherit the classic dark painting style and popular worldview. And reproduce the fun of unpleasant combat experience and immersion. On the road to adventure, you are also enemies and friends with other adventurers, or gather in the dangerous underground city, or compete for the immortal supreme honor. When the stone of the world falls apart, when Westmay is bleak, you are the last hope.
Which is basically a reference to where Diablo's popularity comes from. I'm glad that it is noticed and the creators decided to move in this direction. We just have to wait and see how it turns out. I would also like to take this opportunity to refer to the leak. Personally, I don't think this is too precise to clearly state that this information is true. Perhaps there are actually plans to introduce something like pets, but the ones here are rather candy style, which doesn't fit with the description of keeping the game in a dark style. The next thing is to introduce the assassin, which is questionable to me. We know how long we have been waiting for a new class, and suddenly we are supposed to believe that there is another one because someone took a photo using a potato. Your call. What's more, we already have a monk who's like an assassin, and demon hunter to place traps. But of course, I'm not saying that there is no place for such a class in this game. I would rather say that a druid would be the perfect solution, especially for people who use summoner mechanics. After all, this could also be used for another class. As always, thanks for watching.